be able to donate or purchase a question. You can find the links for my PayPal, Cash App, Amazon wishlist, and my PO box all in the description box below. And if you guys do want to purchase a question, send your payment and then put your question down below, and I will do it in between the collective messages. So let's get started on today's message. There may be some people thinking about going to a spiritual healer or advisor, or going to a pastor or a therapist or something along those lines to be able to discuss their trauma and help them work through it. That's one of my specialties right there as well. But anyway, if anybody is thinking about doing this, this is going to bring you an immense amount of peace. There may actually even be some sort of hypnotherapy type of session, or a session where you do like meditation and are able to go back to the place where the abuse happened and kind of fight for your inner child in a way. And that will bring you a lot of peace. Some of you are definitely getting ready to move into a new house, maybe a house that you have been trying to manifest for a long time as well. Somebody's words or somebody's speech or communication is definitely causing a lot of people to fall in love with you in some sort of way. There are people who are looking at you with the eyes of love and maybe even shading this emotion from your view for some reason. This could be somebody who's very non-judgmental, very open-minded, somebody that looks at the world in a different way, kind of like you probably do if you're here watching this. Somebody may even want to purchase you flowers and bring them to you as well. Somebody may also want to tell you thank you for being a gift in their life and helping them in some sort of way. You may have even gave somebody a new lease on life in some sort of way, or somebody could have had a near-death experience and they could be getting a new lease on life, feeling more rebellious than ever, feeling more like they want to make an impact and make a change before there's no time left to do that. So somebody may actually have a blessing in disguise of a near-death experience, somebody you know or yourself. In the near future, somebody could actually almost lose a pet as well and have this be a new chance at life with this pet, and kind of having more gratitude for this pet in their life, instead of feeling like some days they hate this pet and some days they love this pet, or whatever the case may be. They may realize just how much they needed this pet, just how much it meant in their life. There's going to be a lot of new doors opening for you as well after there is some sort of closing out of cycles. It might even be a closing out of cycles with particular types of people or particular ways of doing things. You're going through a transformation right now that is going to make you stronger than you've ever been and more beautiful than you've ever been. You are definitely going to be being seen, recognized, felt for your uniqueness and your beauty as you are going forward at this time. So let's see what other messages we have today to go with this. I always love the main beginning message because it always fits into the other ones in some way. Like every message has a little bit from the beginning, which is kind of cool. So let's see. Tips of taming your temper. Think before you speak. It's easy to say what you will regret later on. Take a few moments to collect your thoughts before saying anything. Allow others involved to do the same thing. Once you're calm, express your anger. As soon as you have a clear thinking process, express your frustrations in an assertive but non-confrontational way. State your concerns and your needs clearly and directly without hurting others or trying to control them. Could have used this advice a little bit earlier this morning. I woke up to a situation that I knew was coming from the very beginning, and I had only actually allowed myself to relax a bit more and things like that over the last couple days in the situation I'm in. And sure enough, immediately, the things that I was pretty damn sure were going to happen happened. And so it was a little irritating dealing with the people, but things go a lot smoother if you can take a minute to clear your mind before you express yourself. And generally, I'm very good at that. but it's been an extremely long couple weeks here, and dealing with that situation was just like nail in a coffin, kind of. When you allow yourself to open up and believe, sometimes it is really hard when that belief is crushed in some sort of way. So make sure that you are really paying attention to the good things when anything like that is going on. Faith and gratitude. Thank you for guiding me through this time. I felt you deserved a rhyme. The universe is here with me. I'm never alone, I finally see. Thank you for synchronicity, for opening me up to simplicity, for helping me to ground my power, or being with me minute after minute and hour after hour, for watching over me with care. The comfort I find from you is rare. My angels are always here with me. My ancestors are here to help me see. My spiritual team, you make me beam. You remind me to stay humble when I fumble, to forgive myself for any fallbacks, to help me see that nothing lacks. I have all that I need, especially now that I've been freed. 7/25/19. So remember to take time to say thank you to your guides as well, to your spiritual team, to your ancestors. And if you need that extra strength and support, lean on them, talk to them, ask them to be there for you and to be behind you. As you do this, it helps a lot of times if you create a visualization technique with it as well, closing your eyes and kind of seeing everybody standing behind you and in your corner the way that they really are. Even if you can't see them in the physical 3D, you always have your spiritual team in your corner at all times. Make sure that you talk to them when you need to, and make sure that you show them that gratitude in the ways that you can as well. By the way, while I'm thinking about it, thank you for being here to help me with these messages today, and to make sure that I get what I deserve and take care of it when I don't. Throw the game to get the win. Winning and losing is all that matters. When you do that, your love batters. Set your pride aside, your heart now confide. No more lies across your lips, poison from your tongue drips. Ease the pain of your pride, tell the truth of what you lied. So, there could be something that you may have lied about particular people, or you may have assumed things that ended up being found out to be wrong, or somebody else may have done this. And for some of you, it's going to be somebody else is wanting to come in and apologize for what they've done and to gain a new chance with you in some sort of way. Because I'm going back to the beginning message where we were talking about the new life, and we were talking about somebody really having the eyes of love for you. Well, that could also be if you are somebody who said things that you assumed before you actually knew they were real. You might actually apologize and swallow the pride. Allow yourself to express the truth of where you may have been confused or wrong in situations. And this is really going to bring you a lot of admiration and a lot of respect. And it doesn't mean that there wasn't something wrong going on, or it doesn't mean that anything like that. But what it does mean is that if there is somewhere where you went wrong, apologize, regardless of what anybody else is doing, because it clears yourself of that poisonous venom. It clears yourself of everything that is weighing down on you when you make the moves to do what you feel is right in the situations around you, regardless of what anybody else is doing. Don't give your power away. I don't share all for a reason. Most people only last a season. I never share the private side unless I feel you're along for the ride. I can see true intentions. I know when there are rising tensions. I share a lot most wouldn't dare. My life story I proudly wear. The deepest of me is what you'll have to earn. Betrayal has left its fiery burn. Value for myself, it was the lesson it blazed. Self-love and respect were definitely raised. I will always give it another shot. Fear of connection strongly fought. Rise from the ashes for a new day. Dust myself off and head out to play. 2/15/21. So, it's time to stop giving your power away. To think before you speak. To ask yourself before you open your mouth if it's true, if it's necessary, if it's needed. Whether or not it's adding to the conversation, things like that. Making sure that what you're sharing is to people who have actually earned access as well, as far as your most private thoughts and your most private parts of yourself. Because when you share those things with people you barely know, they kind of gain an upper hand and extra power over you because they know more of you, to where they can wear a mask more firmly in place and be able to show you what you want to see instead of who they actually are, if that makes sense. Hi, Maple7. Nice to see you again. I love how every time I say hi to one of you guys, my voice changes. I do notice that, but it's a subconscious thing, and I notice it as I'm doing it. It's like it separates it from everything else. Prayer is going to be very important to you at this time. Meditation is going to be very important to you. Inner child healing meditation is definitely going to be very valuable to a lot of you here as well. I feel like you were definitely the innocent party in something that happened in the past. There may have been a lot of lies told, rumors, gossip, drama, chaos going on. Throw the game to get the win. Going back to that poem that just came out, throw the game to get the win. While everybody's over here dancing around in this field of swords, what you need to be doing is focused on your goals, focused on your plans, focused on where you're going next, being very committed to creating in your life, to being stable, to not paying attention to what they have going on or the poison or venom that's coming out of them, to let that all go, to make amends where you need to make amends, and then to move forward. And that way you're no longer focused on these 5 swords over here that everybody else is dancing around with. At the end of the day, they're going to get stabbed with these swords while you're busy doing something else. And the person that they were wanting to stab with those swords didn't get hurt at all, because you were busy doing something else and not paying attention to what they were doing. That's part of giving your power away too, is allowing people to get inside your mind and control how you feel about yourself, whether or not you feel good enough, whether or not you feel whole, whether or not you feel like all this talk about you is going to damage your reputation, or whether or not everybody's going to believe it, and all that kind of stuff. And focusing all your power, all your energy, all your time on that isn't going to get you anywhere very quickly. But taking your power back and focusing on your dreams, on your goals, on the open doors in front of you instead of what's been left behind, and taking a leap of faith, knowing that you will be able to spread your wings and fly as you do, is going to be something that is going to help get you through that. Thank you, Maple. I appreciate that. So, all the emotional work that you're doing, you are very capable of doing. You have been through a lot emotionally throughout your life, and it's amazing the amount of strength that you have gained from this. Camels can spend a long time in the desert with no water, so it's like that emotional nourishment. You can go for long periods of time without that emotional nourishment because you are very good at nourishing yourself emotionally. You're very good at being able to, what is the name of that? Self-soothe. I don't know why I was having such a hard time finding the word for self-soothe, but you're very good at self-soothing, at really being able to navigate your way through your emotions and really being able to find the happiness, joy, and peace regardless of negative situations going on around you. Your prayer life is going to help with that. Your meditation is going to help with that. Your ancestors and your spiritual team standing behind you are constantly assisting you in that as well, and lending you their strength, their stability, their wisdom. Think about it. Even in the animal kingdom, say a crow is interacting with people, and this guy starts kicking at the crow or throwing rocks at the crow. 30 years later, if that guy goes back to the same spot, and they will recognize him immediately. They will not like him. They will steer clear of him, or some of them might actually even try to attack him to get him out of their territory. And that's like generations of those birds later. So where did they get that knowledge from? They got that knowledge from their ancestors. Just like we get knowledge from our ancestors. Fire hurts. It can be very useful, and it can be something that really helps the world. But at the end of the day, we don't just shove our hand in a flame. And a lot of that comes from our knowledge that we have before we even get here from our ancestors. The fact that babies, they will actually slow their breathing and their heart rate. Their heart rate will drop to almost nothing, and they will stop breathing if they're underwater. That way they have a greater chance of survival and a longer time period until somebody has to pull them out of that water. And that's just a natural thing that happens when they go under the water. And that's because we know that if you breathe underwater, you will die. Where do we know that from? We know that from our ancestors because they learned it first and they passed it down to us. And they passed it down to us in such a strong way that we instantly know the moment we're born. You can call it evolution. I don't care. But it's all the same thing, really, when you get down to it at the end of the day. So between messages, if anybody wants to be able to find any of the poetry on here, Dee's StoryTime is linked in the description box below. And let's see what else our guides want to talk to us about today. Transformation is definitely a big key of the day because all I'm seeing here is a butterfly. This is one of my kids' drawings at one point. I still remember when I was a kid and my mom, every time she was on the phone, she'd just be sitting and drawing. It would be shaped somewhat like this, but with pens. And I did a lot of that myself too, because I was like, I always wanted to try to get it just like hers, but I could never quite get it just like hers because it's your own thing, really. You're never really going to be able to get things just like anyone else's. Everything that you have to offer is unique in some way. Even if you're similar to other people, there's still uniquenesses, differences between you. There's always going to be differences between you and everybody that you come into contact with in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, you can find people that are going to be on the same vibes as you and stuff and are going to have some of the same beliefs as you, but having everything be identical in two people is something that is never really going to happen. Even identical twins, with as identical as they are, there is still differences there. That kind of came out of nowhere, but that's what I'm getting from this picture here. Being able to see through the confusion and the haze and being able to cut off connections that are not the best for you. Maybe even feeling like the differences aren't the reasons why, or, not blaming the differences when it comes to that, because then you might be looking for people that are, identical to you, but you're not going to find that. Being okay, and also not blaming the next person for what the past person did as well, because the next person is not identical to the last person either. Even if they share some of the same qualities or traits, they are not the last person. So that could definitely be part of it too. And that's what I'm pretty much getting from this. Life is a cycle. And I was actually talking to somebody this morning about, they were like, you're going to keep repeating cycles because you hate them, until you learn to love them. I was like, well, if you go by that theory, then you're going to keep repeating cycles in general. But when you learn to love what you're hating before, when you go into that cycle next time, instead of hating it, you love it. So maybe it's not so much that you're getting something different. You're just learning to appreciate what's right in front of you. Study is needed. In order to continue to expand the mind, you need to keep it going. Learning never truly stops, at least not if it isn't blocked by thinking that you know it all. Ego can get in the way with your talents and your brains. Don't let it. That is definitely something that needs to be worked on and kept in check, is making sure that even though you are a very intelligent person, even though you know a lot, even though you have studied very in depth in whatever it is that you have studied, there are still people around you who can know things that you don't know, that you can learn from. People maybe even that have not really studied that area at all, but they may still have something good to add to it if you are not just judging them by what they have or have not studied, what education level they've gotten, or by what amount of money they have, or by whatever the case may be. Judging people by those things and thinking that you're better than them ends up getting in the way in the long run. So regardless of how far you come, regardless of how much you awaken, regardless of how much you enhance your spiritual gifts, there is always something more that you can learn in every area. And there definitely is a need to remember that we are not better than anybody else. It doesn't matter how much we learn. It doesn't matter how much we grow. It doesn't matter how much good we try to do in this world. At times we still mess up. We still make mistakes. We still have a low vibrational day. And what we do with it is up to us. But at times, a lot of times, even subconsciously, we end up hurting people. Not necessarily intending to. That's a big one for people because everybody's like, I don't hurt anybody. Yes, you do. Everybody on this planet does. In some way, shape, or form, you hurt people, period. That's the way it is. Especially if you have boundaries, because having boundaries hurts people. So if you have boundaries and you're in a high vibrational state because you have broken free of allowing people to walk on you like a doormat, you're hurting people every day by not letting them walk on you. And granted, that's not your fault. And you're doing right by yourself. Technically, you're doing right by them in the long run as well. But at the same time, you are still hurting those people. So that still counts. So try not to think that you're better than anyone and try to remember to be forgiving and loving in your interactions. Sounds good. I will definitely answer that question right after I read this poem. Both of them. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you as well. Choices. You chose another, I let you walk. I still feel weak when you talk. You wore my heart on a string. The look in your eyes made my soul sing. I let my love freely take flight. With it that strong, how could I fight? I'll always remember the feelings I felt. You broke through and made my heart melt. Close to me, I felt your vibe. In you, I let myself imbibe. From now on, your spot is secure, but from you, it will be kept for sure. Brother is what you will be for now. After everything, I will not bow. But your friendship means the world to me, and that is why I let you fly free. Sorry, I was just getting a download about some of the signs I was seeing earlier, and I was like, what, brother? And it's crazy that that poem came out this morning because that was a big one for me because it was a situation with a brother, and I was like, what brother? And what brother would actually do that? But yeah, I know who they're talking about now. So, once again, with the pride thing from earlier too, there may actually be a situation here where because somebody made a choice to walk away from you, you decided never, never, ever would this person ever get this close to me again. And it may have actually caused a very strong distortion in your connection with this person. It could have even ended up in you guys not being around each other at all anymore and completely lost contact or something along those lines. There's a need here to readdress this situation, to ask yourself what you love about this person, why you're still angry with this situation, why you're still hurt with this situation, what you can do to heal things and to forgive this person and to forgive yourself in this situation so that you can move forward and so that you can allow this to fall away and to let go of it and leave it behind because it's not helping you in the long run. Also, this could have been a situation where you still tried to maintain a friendship and you kind of let this person fly free, but this person did a lot of really fucked up shit in the meantime and then just disappeared, and this person may actually be coming back into your life in some sort of way. So, ML, does your psychic team know you're a psychic and how? Oh, wow. Weird that that one came out. This could be something from when you were a teenager. Guys are all the same. Guys are all the same. Is it just me? Am I insane? Or can you see? Do you believe or do you just receive? Because a lot of girls just take the worlds and never learn all the facts. Mostly they just get dumped in the trash and incinerated into ash. Not even a call, so how can you stand tall? They say you're still friends, but is that how it ends? This is a poem I wrote when I was about 15 years old. I think not only your spiritual team knows that you are psychic, but I also feel like there's a lot of people around you that know that you're psychic as well. You may have actually said things to people about certain situations going on in their life and how they were going to turn out or pan out. What's really funny is I actually wrote this before my first boyfriend, but this poem has always reminded me of my first boyfriend. It was about a month before I met him that I wrote this. And that's just to throw this out there, I do not believe that guys are all the same anymore. I may have when I was 15 years old. All guys aren't the same. All women aren't the same. It doesn't matter what sex you are. Both have their pieces of shit and both have people that are mostly good because there is no such thing as all the way good. But I really do feel like they definitely know that you are psychic. And how do they know? They know that you see the truth. Not just about the future, but about the past. You see clearly and you speak clearly. You're very confident in your speech as well, very honest in your speech. You're powerful and motivated, ambitious, goal-driven, and you know what you want and you create it into life. A new day dawns. They know because you know in advance a lot of things that are going on. Even when you try to convince yourself otherwise, they see you. You have a very strong position of power as well. And your psychic gifts may actually help in you being able to achieve that power and keep that power. Remember to be very respectful of your psychic gifts because as gifts can be given, they can also be taken when we abuse them. So remember that as you gain more power. What's going on with you and Nick? How does Nick feel about you? Remember who you are. You're a warrior with a deep inner strength and power. Look at everything that you've been through from a different perspective. Without every bit of it, who exactly would you be? What would you know? What would you have to overcome and to be able to see your strengths and work on your weaknesses? You're somebody who has always cared deeply about learning and growing from every experience. So pat yourself on the back and tell yourself, job well done, making it to now, stronger, smarter, and more knowing than ever before. Don't hate your past and let that poison affect your present. So, in this situation, you really need to remember who you are. Remember that you were just fine without this person in your life. You'll be just fine if they are gone from your life. That everything that has happened the way that it has for a reason. And that you, at the end of the day, have been made stronger from it, have learned from it, have grown from it, have really truly bloomed from every situation that you've dealt with. To stop giving this situation so much of your energy, so much of your power by overthinking it and leaving the present moment. Stay in tune and in touch with the present moment. You definitely do have a lot of knowledge of the future, but sometimes with that knowledge of the future, it can really get in the way of living in the now. Talking from experience here. So, yeah, I really think you need to tell this person to go away. This is a song I wrote at 15. You may be in a very, this may have taken you back and given you like a more childlike boost and view on your life around you, and you may be feeling pretty good, but at the same time you're feeling pretty bad by this. It actually is, I feel like it's kind of codependent and a little bit toxic when it comes to this situation. So we have, get a life and stay out of mine. Get a life and stay out of mine. It's not you, but it's me. Everywhere I go, it's you I see. I think about you all the time. I just thought that I could use a rhyme. So get a life and stay out of mine. Get a life and stay out of mine. So that's 2 songs that came out today, which is crazy because usually the songs never come out in the piles like that. So anyway, once again, I really feel like this is definitely a situation where you need to walk away from this situation. You need to take your power back, and you need to realize just who the fuck you are, and that this person is dropping you down to a level that you don't need to be in. A new home may be in your future. Don't be afraid of these changes. Change is the only constant. If you avoid it or try to stop it, it will still happen, just not so smoothly. And you definitely need to listen to at least the beginning part of the collective reading today as well, because a lot of that tapped into what was being said at the beginning of this. Don't be afraid of the changes that are coming in your future. Change is the only constant. The only variable is rate. Metamorphosis by Ora the Prophet is coming to mind right now. Change is inevitable. The only variable is rate. Most people cling very tightly to the past and try to stop things from changing with all their might, but things change anyway, and that's the way that it works. So it's time to let go of this situation and to allow yourself to surrender, to know that everything that is lining up right now is lining up for a specific reason, and there is definitely somewhere that you're supposed to be right now, and it's not where you're at. So that's what I got for that message. And once again, in between messages, if anybody wants to be able to donate or make a purchase, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Send your payment and throw your question down below, and I will get to it between the collective messages. So let's see what other messages our guides have for us today. And I really feel like even ML's messages there were meant to be heard by a few other people here too, because they really did play into the collective message a bit too. Someone promised to be there. They led with flattery, false compliments, and lies. They ghosted on you. They saw your beauty, and guilt feeds on them for preying on such a pure soul. You taught them so much about empathy and real unconditional love. Now they can't face you and admit their dirty intentions and what they were. They feel like you already know. So there is definitely somebody that is having an extremely hard time coming forward and admitting where they have gone wrong and apologizing for it. Pride goes before a fall. There's actually a poem on Dee's StoryTime, Pride Goeth Before a Fall, that somebody may need to listen to too. And the link for that's in the description box below. So, whoever this is, they're feeling extremely guilty and it's feeding on them. They promised to be there for you, led with flattery, with false compliments, with lies, ghosted on you, breadcrumbed on you, and the whole time they saw who you were. It took them a minute. They may not have saw who you were when they first walked up to you and had the intentions they did, but it was very close to right after they met you. They couldn't help themselves though, and they wanted to have that light and that beauty around them in some sort of way, even though they knew that they could never keep up the facade they created or the mask that they wore. And so they knew going in that it was going to be taken away from them too. And I feel like that's they're going through a lot of karma right now, a lot of lessons, learning and growth. And a lot of it has to do with the love and light and beauty that they lost in their life. And at the same time, they can't face what they've done or express their apologies or anything else, and they really feel like even if they did, there's no hope anyway for anything going forward in this situation. But I feel like they're going to be pushed into it whether they like it or not. Come back down to earth. It's time to face reality. Your dreams and goals need a practical plan as well. You can make your dreams come true, but it does take action. I don't want to come back down from this cloud. I don't want to come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time. What that song always reminds me of is the movie Fear. That guy was a real wow. And he had her completely convinced that he was like the best guy on the planet. And she got a very large smack in the face by reality when it came down to who he actually was. Happens to a lot of people. It happens a lot, especially when, like we were talking about earlier, when you tell people every single thing about you initially, or everything about your trauma or what you went through or anything like that, because then they know all those things and they can morph themselves into what you want them to be, and they can wear that mask a lot easier. So it's always a good thing to slowly open up to people and slowly let them in, give them about the same amount of information as they're giving you, have an equal give and take on that, an equal power balance on that. Burdens you bear. Carrying a load for far too long, you have been so very strong. Others walked out on you. Chances you gave were more than a few. It's time to focus on yourself. No more resting on a shelf. Stand up and shout. It's time to come out. Voice your story. It's yours to share. Keeping silent isn't fair. Your inner child needs you now. Stand up and take a bow. So, this goes back to that child trauma meditation we were talking about earlier as well. And the meditation sessions I offer, we can actually do that as well. It really helps. You'd be amazed how much it helps to be able to go back in time to that point when you were being abused like that and have your adult self there to stand in for your child self. Even if it's just a visualization technique, it's like you're telling your inner child, you are safe now with me. I will never let anything like that happen to you again. I will not stand for it. I will stand up and I will voice what needs to be voiced, and I will do what needs to be do what I need to do to make sure that you are safe. Even if no one else has ever done that, you will be there for you. And it really helps your inner child to be able to do that, to be able to stand up and face all of these things, to not carry everybody else's responsibilities as your own, to not carry the entire world on your back, feeling like if you take one day of a break, everything's going to fall apart and the whole world's going to burn down, because it isn't. And also you get into that toxic energy of a martyr when you do that too. So like we were talking about earlier, when people feel like they never hurt anyone and they start yelling at people because, oh, I never hurt anyone, and it's so disgusting that people would do anything like this. No, people do hurt people regularly without even knowing they're hurting people. When you are busy taking responsibility for everything and always taking care of everything, always controlling everything, always feeling like you can't step back and just take a break for yourself and a breather for you, you're in that toxic energy of a martyr, thinking that you are doing everything and nobody else is doing anything, and you're running around stressed and panicking and anxious and yelling at everybody. And that's what you do when you're in that energy. When you're overstressed and overworked and you're not taking care of yourself. So is taking care of yourself selfish? No. Hell no. It is definitely a service for the community around you as much as it is for you. Telling people no when you need to is a service for everyone else just as much as it is for you. Those same people that you're telling no, it's good for them too, because eventually all that resentment is going to build up until it explodes on them, because you're doing everything for them and they're not taking responsibility in any way. So instead of allowing that to happen, you put your foot down, you set your boundaries, you tell them what you will and won't accept, and if they can't deal with that, you move away from that situation. You can only do so much as one person, and everything is not your responsibility. Playfulness and joy finds you where you once where once annoyance took hold. You are ready to open back up. Do it in a balanced way. You are going to be enjoying life, and all eyes will be on you as you do. Many options and doors will be opening up to you due to this energetic shift. That was actually in that beginning message too. I feel like that beginning message is very important for everybody who is here today watching, because there was a lot of different things in it that could possibly point to specific situations that you're dealing with. But places where in the past you felt really annoyed or anxious or stressed or overworked or tired or whatever, because of the fact that you are going to start taking care of yourself more, and you're going to start setting better boundaries, and you're going to start taking time for you, you're really going to start to enjoy things more and have a lot more happiness and joy in your life, a lot more of a bounce to your step as you're going about your normal responsibilities. You're going to be getting a lot more done in the long run than you were when you weren't doing that. And you're really going to be healing a lot of your relationships around you by being able to be in this more childlike energy, this more playful, happy-go-lucky energy, this more harmonious, peaceful, and balanced energy, because you're taking your power back. We have the Knight of Wands, the World, the High Priestess, the Sun, and the Two of Pentacles. Instead of being so indecisive about things going on around you as well, you're going to know exactly what you want, and you're going to be no longer going after the things that just aren't bringing you the inspiration you want, or just aren't bringing you the motivation or drive that you want, the things that don't really hold much passion for very long or inspiration for very long. You're going to be looking more at the long haul and what truly makes you happy in the long haul. You're working on no longer feeling guilty or ashamed of what it is that you want, so that you can stop being so in and out, hot and cold, and on and off with every situation around you, because you're unsure of what it is that you want. You're unwilling to face what it is that you want. Deep down, you know what it is that you want, and it's going to be being made clear to you what it is that you want as well, as you end these cycles and open up these brand new doors. There's definitely some situations that you have dealt with where people have cheated, people have lied, people have been in and out or hot and cold with you in some sort of way. And you're going to be seeing these things much more clearly, and you're going to be seeing why you've been attracting this energy much more clearly as well, because they tell you you attract what you are and what you put out there. Well, you've been putting out indecisive energy, you've been putting out unsure energy, hot and cold energy, in and out energy. Even if you haven't been cheating on people, even if you haven't been lying to people, you have still been kind of in and out and hot and cold, on and off with whatever situations have been going on in your life. So this is the time for ending that cycle. Honor Gaia, protect the wild and the green. So these new doors that are opening in your life, remember to show your gratitude for those doors being opened. Remember to fight for what you believe in, fight for what you feel is right, to protect and defend those that are defenseless around you, whether that be the earth, whether that be animals, children, doesn't matter what it is, but stand up and fight for truth and clarity and peace when it comes to the situations around you. Honor your inner feminine and the beauty that she presents to this world, the growth, the abundance, the fertility, the joy that your emotions can bring this earth, and the vibrations that are helped to rise as you give this light. As you nourish and love the earth around you and all of its inhabitants, it brings a very high vibrational energy with it. We're not meant to know everything when it's happening, but we get little glimpses of things. And as we go along and we see those little glimpses of things morph into what they were, we also learn how to use our gifts better as well. So don't feel like your gifts are not very strong, or like your gifts aren't working right, or, why couldn't I have seen this coming? Because you weren't meant to. Whatever the case may be, you were meant to be in the situation that you were in to learn something from that situation. So make sure that you're learning what you can from these situations around you. So, TT, thank you very much. Raw truth when it comes to your ex, Tatiana. So your question is, what was hidden from me? So what was hidden from you during your connection with this person? Well, she's definitely hiding something behind her back here. A knife in the back is what I thought of. If you can't love yourself, you can't give or receive love appropriately, because your self-hate will be projected onto you and onto others. See yourself in a higher light through heaven's eyes, the Prince of Egypt. So, what were you hiding from her during your connection? How were you stabbing her in the back? Or him? Her. I think it's a her. Yeah. What were you hiding? Were you hiding something? Is that why you're questioning her hiding something? Are you projecting other people's things onto her? Are you feeling like because she has a pretty face, there must be something else? It's like it's too good to be true. It could be that you're feeling like things are just too good to be true kind of thing. Transformation, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a transformation going on here after this ending. Somebody is learning about stability, learning about honor, learning about integrity, learning about honesty. There could have been little white lies that were told on both sides. Both of you could have been in a people-pleasing energy where you were just wanting to make the other one happy. I told somebody recently that I don't really like action movies. I mean, once in a great while, sure, but I don't watch many movies. And when I watch movies, I like watching wholesome movies. I like watching things like Hallmark Channel movies or historical romance movies or things like that, where it's just more wholesome. And I could have sat there and said, oh, yeah, I love action movies. Let's watch a bunch of action movies, and sat there miserable while I'm watching a bunch of action movies. Or I could have been honest. And, you know, they could tell me, hey, I don't like listening to books. They could be honest, or they can continue to do things they hate doing and then avoiding them. And so there could definitely be a lot of like people pleasing energy on both sides going on here, where both of you are learning and growing, understanding yourselves more deeply, what you want, where you're giving your power away, and how you can change that. Yeah, there could have been a lot of passive aggressive behavior going on as well. And this passive aggressive behavior was caused by the people pleasing energy. Because as you sit there and give your power away and constantly do things to make everyone else happy, you feel like you are unhappy, you are miserable, and everybody else is happy around you because you're doing the things to make them happy. And then you kind of get this resentfulness built up, and you kind of get this bitterness built up, and then it just kind of comes back all over everybody. Standing your ground is what you guys have been learning how to do in this situation, is being able to stand your ground, being able to be firm in your decisions, being able to be honest, and being able to know that in putting yourself first, that's not hurting anybody. Hurting people is actually done more by putting yourself second, because in the long run, you were wearing a mask, and when that mask comes off, everything's going to be a lot more painful because it was for a lot longer, and because those people are going to feel like it was an illusion, or it was a lie, or it was, you know, something fake or a facade or made up. And most of the time it's not even something that people did intentionally. They just did it out of trauma because they didn't want these people to leave, or they didn't want these people to move away, and they didn't want these people to not like them because they didn't like the same things that they liked, or whatever the case may be. Respect your boundaries. So yeah, you both really need to respect each other's boundaries, and you both really need to start stating what your boundaries are and being clear with them and not allowing them to be trampled over. So that is what I have for that. That could be a lot of the reason why you're feeling like she stabbed you in the back too, because she's a completely different person than you thought she was. But it's just that she was always that different person. She just didn't want you to see that person because she doesn't love that person, and vice versa. So let's see what else our guides have for us today. You can choose to be anything. Always choose to be yourself. The symbol is the symbol for the freedom to be yourself. It's a good sigil to write out to remind you every day that being yourself is the best thing that you can do. Grounding yourself, finding that confidence and that stability, feeling like you have everything that you need and the universe will provide the rest. And if anything falls away, it was meant to fall away. And if anything comes in, it was meant to come in. Being able to take the changes as they come, being adaptable and flexible, but also being able to take charge when needed and make the corrections needed in situations. Feeling like you can enjoy what you enjoy with no shame, no guilt. Feeling like your sexual energy is something that is very sacred and beautiful and amazing, however you express it. It doesn't matter how you express it. What you enjoy and what makes you feel passionate and what makes you feel amazing in that sense is something that is healthy for you, something that is good for you, and it is not something that is evil. Being able to align with your joy, your peace, your happiness, your optimism, really being able to see things in a higher light, a higher perspective, instead of seeing things. Everybody says rose-colored glasses are so bad, and sure they are when they are affecting your vision to the point that you're kind of living in an illusion. But being able to see the beauty in the world around you, even in the darkest of times, is a true gift. And it is something that takes hard work. It's not something that you're just born with. It takes hard work to be able to push your mind back to the positive, to be able to find the good in every single situation or scenario that happens. There's always something good you can find about it. Being able to align your heart in a sense where you love yourself enough that you're willing to accept in the love from others. And also being able to give out that love to where you're not overly giving, but you're not overly taking either. You're doing it in a very balanced way. Being able to express your truth and being able to express your truth from a place of love. Being able to really be calm when expressing your truth and confident and strong in your voice. Being able to stand up for what you believe in, being able to be who you are and have no problem with that. Listening to those intuitive nudges and the messages, signs, synchronicities that you receive from the universe around you, from your guides, from your gods, whoever those may be, and really being able to trust in it and trust in yourself going forward. Being able to trust in the path that you are choosing. You can choose to be anything. Always choose to be yourself. It doesn't matter who you choose to be. There's going to be people who find fault with it. There's going to be people who hate you for whatever it is that you are or whatever it is that you represent. And then there's going to be people who love you for it, whether you're being fake or not. You might as well be yourself, because at the end of the day, people are going to love you for who you actually are, and you're going to love them for who they actually are. And you're going to be making stronger, more intimate connections with people you actually have things in common with, instead of people that you're just trying to be whatever you need to be to fit in. It's a lot more lonely in that world. Don't allow others to bring you down or convince you that you aren't amazing. Commit yourself to the path that you have found of greater vision. You are definitely greater than you know. When it comes to vibrations, everybody's like, oh, the vibes are contagious. Most of the time when they're talking about that, they're talking about the bad vibes. Of course, most people consider contagious a bad thing. Contagious can be a bad thing or a good thing, just like good vibes can be just as contagious as bad vibes can be. So if you walk into a space and there's a bunch of bad vibes around you that are trying to bring you down, if you allow those vibes to bring you down, it was contagious and it created lower vibes there too. And then your vibes spread and it spreads and it spreads. If you go into a place with high vibes and everybody's vibing low and you keep your high vibes, you'll start to notice that people will light up around you and it will spread throughout the entire room, especially if you're somebody like myself who Your energy is extremely powerful and potent, and I feel like the majority of the people watching my collectives definitely you are, because you're an earth angel, so your vibe is the strongest vibe in the room most of the time when you enter that room. And if you keep your vibes high by taking care of yourself behind the scenes so that you're feeling good, so that you are the healthiest you can be, and then you walk into a space and you're this healthy person and there's a lot of unhealthy people around you and low vibes, their energy isn't going to be as strong and it's not going to be as contagious as yours is. So you can walk in that room and light that whole room up behind you. Choose to be the person who does that. A lot of times when I have negative vibes going on, I just stay at home and I deal with them. And it's not because, it's not because I am too prideful to ask for the help or anything along those lines. It's because I know that when I'm in that upset state, that upset state can spread. And I don't want that upset state to spread. If I really need to, I will reach out and talk to somebody and vent to somebody about something a little bit. But for the most part, I take care of it because I don't want it spreading. And at the same time, there are those people that it won't spread to that you can talk to. Like we were talking about earlier in this reading, whether that be spiritual advisors or, and some of the tarot readers are spiritual advisors, some are not. One was actually talking about that the other day and how she is not here to heal. She's not here to give you all the advice that you need to know for handling all the situations that you're in. She's more here for the tarot portion of it to let you know what's going on and things like that. And then there are the ones that are here for more of a healing purpose. There's ones who have studied a lot of psychology as well as spirituality and have really went through a lot in their lives and gained a lot of wisdom that you can't get from books as well. And then there's therapists and there's priests and there's pastors and there's whatever else. But going and talking to those people at times can definitely be very beneficial for you as well. Someone may have to have surgery because of a bad habit, but because of this eye-opener, they are ready for a lifestyle change. After this change, they're going to notice how much that habit was draining their life and hurting others around them. Power off. They may even be realizing how much it hurt you around them as well. So somebody could definitely be getting a reality check or a wake-up call. We were talking about this in the beginning message as well. It could be you or it could be somebody around you that's going to end up with a reality check or a wake-up call where they end up with a near-death experience, or they end up with an animal with a near-death experience. And it's really going to open their eyes to the changes that need to be made in their life. Awakening. We all have differences. It's plain to see. We all have differences, even me. Love yourself every day. Love yourself in every way. Spread that love for others to see. This is what will set you free. Live in love. Live in light. Everything will be all right. Try to see things from their side. It will help the fears subside. Push past fear, ego, and pride. Then comes the part where you truly confide. Have faith, trust, and belief. Don't let fear be your thief. 9/16/18. So, we all have differences, each and every one of us. We were talking about that earlier too. We are all unique in our own ways. No matter how similar we may find ourselves to other people around us, we can still find differences. We can focus on those differences. We can exploit those differences. We can fight about those differences, or we can love each other regardless of those differences. And we can love ourselves regardless of those differences, regardless of whether or not we are taking the same path as our family, regardless of whether or not we have as much money as the people around us, or as much material things, or whether or not we have as much gifts, or whatever the case may be. We can love ourselves exactly as we are and as who we're meant to be. And when we do that, not only do we come out of our shell and remove those masks, we also give other people a comfortable space to feel like they can do the same. And inspiration to do the same. And to know that it will be okay. The fox, the cobra, and the eagle. It's kind of like the LGBTQ movement. 30 years ago, somebody would have been, I could see people actually getting killed if in some of the places, if they went to school dressed in the opposite sex's clothes. Mostly if a man went to school dressed in women's clothes. Not as much today, even if there's still some of it going on. They really need to start being grateful of the progress that's been made. It's kind of like with, you know, the progress has been made in all of those situations. Civil rights, progress has been made a lot over the years. The way that it continues to be made is by people being okay, standing out, being their self, being different, not worried about their differences, not hating themselves because of them. I actually met somebody this last year that had been, his mom forced him into conversion therapy twice. By the way, he's not converted. He's still gay. He's still gay, and he seems like a pretty happy kid, except for the fact that he knows that he is evil. He's evil. And there's nothing he can do about it, so he might as well just be evil. I wonder how many evil things that kid's going to end up doing simply because he was told he was evil. That's some pretty fucked up shit that you're... And I don't even know how he's that happy about it, honestly. But yeah, that's what happens a lot of times in this world. If we allow other people to control how we think and feel about ourselves, instead of realizing that we are beautiful and we were made exactly as we were meant to be made. Which does include we were made the sex we were meant to be made. But that's, I don't have any problems with anybody doing that. At the same time, I do feel like loving yourself means loving yourself enough to not feel like you need to surgically alter yourself in some way so that you can love yourself. You are definitely life partnership material. And there's definitely going to be great partnerships coming into your life. You're somebody who teaches a lot from the wisdom and knowledge that you have. And you also don't mind accepting learning from others as well. You're not somebody who thinks that you know it all. And there may be some people who have some moments like that that are listening to this. But overall, you are somebody that knows that you can learn from anywhere. And the more that you heal this self-love and bridge this gap with you, the more that you're going to be open and receptive to that knowledge and wisdom coming in from anywhere that it can come in from. You're going to be gaining knowledge and wisdom from so many different faucets that you never even saw before because your vision was clouded in some sort of way. You're definitely freeing yourself. Freeing yourself to be a unique individual, a leader, somebody who sees things from a higher perspective. My dad wanted to be an eagle when he died. So every time I see an eagle, I think about my dad, who passed away a couple years ago. And what's really funny about that is we had a conversation at one point in time because he was telling me that I really needed to start taking care of me. And I was like, well, you know what, Dad? Maybe if I had parents who ever took care of themselves, I might actually know how to do that. But you guys were always so busy taking care of everybody else that you would have taken off your fucking shirt in the middle of winter to hand it to somebody who needed it. I was like, at that point, he was blind and he had so many health problems going on. It was ridiculous. And I was like, and you know what, Dad? Why don't you go down and get your fucking VA insurance? You signed up for the military. They threw you out because you smoked a fucking joint, but you didn't get dishonorably discharged. You put your fucking name on that line to sacrifice your life for this country, and you earned those benefits. So go down there and get those benefits, Republican or not. Go down there and get the fucking Medicaid that you can get, because that's what it's there for. It's there to help people in your position. And maybe then you could get healthy again. Maybe you could be doing something with your life other than sitting there in misery and blindness. And he actually went down and got all of that done and came and talked to me about the sexual abuse that he experienced in his childhood. And a lot of the other things that had happened, healed a whole bunch more. And then he quit smoking about 5 years before he died. He quit drinking a year before he died of stage 4 liver cancer. When he first found out that he had liver cancer, he called my mom to tell her about it. And they were together for 6 months. So they're not together or anything. My stepmom was the one that was actually with him. But when he called her to tell her that, he's like, I kind of feel like just going to get a bottle of tequila to finish it off. And she's like, why would you do that? Don't you want to take that with you when you leave here? You finally beat that. He's been an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic my entire life. So for 29 years, at least, he was an alcoholic. And he quit drinking. Then he found out he had stage 4 liver cancer from the 29 years as an alcoholic. I mean, that happens. But he took it with him. He didn't go get that bottle of tequila. She told him how proud she was of him for finally being able to beat the demon that was in him and that was raging war constantly. And a lot of the reason he was able to beat that demon is because my stepmom finally decided, you know what, I don't care if it's illegal. I like you better when you're smoking weed than when you're drinking. So he was able to get through the withdrawals of the alcohol because of the weed that was around him all the time, because he started growing it at his house right before it was legal to grow it there. It was legal to grow it there right after that. Amazing what natural medicine can do for people instead of the shit they give you at the hospitals that, they made meth and heroin and cocaine, and they still give it out to people regularly in various forms. It's different forms, but it's the same thing. And then they wonder why everybody has a problem with it. Because instead of using natural things, we're using things like that. You think so different. Your mind and perceptions are a true treasure. Keep going and learning new things. You enjoy learning, and you put so much effort into your project. Your ships will come in. Someone who is always able to see the good in every situation. Keep focus on and believing in the light, even when you can't readily see that it's there. It is there to light the path. Focusing on the good, focusing on the beauty, being able to see the good in each situation that you go through. My dad needed to die when he died. If he didn't, I might not be here talking to you today. He also needed to turn all that shit around when he did. He led the way for me in a lot of ways. There was finally somebody around to show that. I think we were teaching each other at the same time because I was doing a lot of it in my life at the same time. But now I have a time in my life where both of my parents, I asked them for something once, each of them once. I need you here right now, and this is what I need from you. And both of them came through on that one time. They didn't come through 99% of my life. But that one time that I expressed that I needed it, and I needed them to do whatever that was, they came through. That's a good thing that you can focus on. There may be a lot of bad around you, but focus on the good ones. Wash away your burdens and be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with others. Don't carry it around with you. Allow it to flow freely. Allow yourself to express your emotions. If you have tears to cry, cry them. If you have joy to show, show it. If you have laughter to express, express it. I got yelled at one time for laughing too much. Of course, I was at the movie theater with my ex, and we were watching the new It movie. And I just couldn't help myself. There was a few parts in it that were extremely funny while he's over there being scared to death. I'm over here laughing, and he's getting pissed off at me about it. But he's getting pissed off at me about it because he was scared of that part, and I found it funny. But there's been so much darkness that I've seen in this world that most of those movies just don't get to me in the way that they get to other people. Plus, I watched a lot of movies that were in that genre before I was even 7 years old. I had watched things like Nightmare on Elm Street or Child's Play or From Dusk Till Dawn. And, when you watch them that young and you realize that they're not real that young, it's kind of, that's already ingrained. So let's see what other messages we have today from our guides. Someone is looking for a come up. Don't let others take advantage of what you have to offer. Homosexual, someone who gets into relationships for the sole purpose of a place to stay. As Virgos generally think, trust but verify. Usually fits Cancers pretty well too. Check your sources, ask questions. Sagittarius do a lot of that too. Don't allow them to pull the wool over your eyes. Remember as well, some like to cause problems where there are none. Check your sources too. A lot have said similar about me, but I'm a demisexual as an empath. there is always love for all. So check your sources to verify things. Don't just believe what you hear when you first hear it. There could be people trying to get into situations and damage them from the beginning. There could also be some truth to some of these things. So make sure that you are checking into things and not just allowing things. Sunlight returns. No more time to waste on past heartache. Get it together for your sake. Leave behind fear and doubt. You will find your way out. Communicate your wants and needs. Take time to plant your seeds. Love yourself like never before. Only you can walk through this door. Climb the ladder one step at a time. Sometimes you just need a rhyme. You can do this. Know it's true. It's time to love you as you. No more dark clouds cluttering your skies. Sunshine is the reason why. Be optimistic in your healing. So much hardship you've been feeling. But now it's time for the light. This is the end of your dark night. 225:21. The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. So stick out your chin and grin and say, So the darkness is receding at this time and the sun is starting to pour back in. Things that were hidden in the dark are being illuminated. You're finding that joy, that happiness, that positivity again, where once there might have been annoyance, despair, pain, hurt, hardship. You're starting to see the good things in those things, and you're starting to open your eyes to a new perspective and a new understanding of why things had to play out the way that they did. You might have a friend in your life, that is very fake. They take from you and expect from you, but are nowhere in sight when you need something. They disappear a lot. They are hard to reach and may ghost or breadcrumb you. You deserve better. Say something. If it doesn't change, then walk away. You can't control others, but you can protect your energy from them. Which is why I changed my Facebook status again this morning. I switched it to in a relationship for a minute because somebody wanted to, publicize it. And then I switched it back off this morning, and we're going to have a talk this afternoon because we've already had a talk and apparently it didn't do anything. And sometimes that happens, and that's fine. And then you move forward. Which sounds really harsh. It sounds really cruel, cold, uncaring, but it's not. It's not. Doesn't mean you don't love people. Doesn't mean you don't care about them. But you love yourself and you care about yourself too, which means you also need to take care of you. And taking care of you sometimes requires you to let go of things that are not good for you, which includes people that treat you in ways that you don't deserve to be treated. I love your body so much. It brings life to my eyes. You are so beautiful, very graceful, charismatic, and colorful. Your differences make you amazingly unique, and I love your energy. And if you want something like that, then you got to be willing to let go of the things that are not that. When you walk in the room, my heartbeat stops for a beat every time. You vibrate healing energies wherever you go. You have so many layers to you. As I explore you, I am surprised more and more by what I uncover. A lush garden of beauty and abundance. Secret Garden by Bruce Springsteen. You deserve the best, and I hope you find it. She'll let you in her house if you come knocking late at night. She'll let you in her mouth if the words you say are right. If you pay the price, she'll let you deep inside. But there's a secret garden she hides. So there could actually be somebody looking at you right now that really has a lot of love for you, a lot of care for you, really sees you as something extremely beautiful and mysterious and amazing. They could be waiting for you to heal in some sort of way. This could even be somebody that you dealt with in the past that is actually seeing you in this way now, that you have walked away from as well. Doesn't mean that you should be going back to them. Doesn't mean you shouldn't. Sometimes people actually do learn a lesson. Sometimes they don't. And it's all in whether or not you want to make that choice. It's the choice is in your hands. It wasn't me. It was always them. I changed the way that I handle things, but I shouldn't have. Start speaking out again. It's time. Leave behind the guilt and the shame. That bitch, B. Miller. So, there could also be ways in which you toned yourself down. Ways in which you left your voice behind in some sort of way, which I have done myself at points. Because of outside interference or because of people that made you feel like it was wrong in some way. Everyone wants the truth, but the moment I speak it, I'm a bitch, is basically what that song is about. Don't think all my friends would hate me if everybody wanted the truth, you know? But here's the thing. People don't necessarily always want the truth, and that's okay. Doesn't mean the truth doesn't need to be spoken. The truth still needs to be spoken whether people want to hear it or not. Tough love is love too. In the long run, what's best for you and everyone around you is to speak your truth, is to voice what you believe in, is to voice when people are overstepping your bounds or when they're disrespecting you in a way that you don't like. Speaking up and taking your power back is something that's really going to help. And that's also a form of a mask that you can wear. Whether you feel like you're wearing a mask or not, sometimes you might look down and go, wait a second, I didn't say what I should have said in that situation because you know what? I should have said something right there. And I didn't. I let it go. Letting it go is fine, but sometimes it's really hard to let it go if you don't actually voice what you needed to voice. Be without malice. And don't say things just to hurt people or just to trigger people. Don't say things because you know that's the thing that's going to hurt the most as well, because that could be part of the reason why you were feeling like you were saying too much or being too much or whatever, is because at some point there could have been something that you said simply for the sheer pleasure of it. But as long as your intentions are pure, you're doing just fine. Be patient. Let two become one. See the signs. So, there are a lot of signs around you right now trying to lead you and trying to direct you, trying to guide you towards the path that is best for you, trying to guide you towards the situation that can be something very fulfilling. There's a lot of abundance and fertility in some sort of situation around you. There's also a need to remember that nobody can fill a void inside of you. That's something that is yours to fill. You don't need the people around you. When you don't need the people around you and you want the people around you, that breeds a lot less codependency. So there's a need to just allow situations to unfold, to let go, to surrender, but also to remember to voice yourself when you feel like there's something that you need to say in a situation. That is planting those seeds. That's not controlling things. It's not controlling things to let people know that, hey, this is not okay and I'm not going to put up with this. It's not controlling things. That's planting seeds. Sometimes those seeds grow. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes those seeds weren't even a whole seed. Sometimes it just was planted in infertile soil where there's no growth ever going to happen in this desert, you know? But you still plant the seeds because you never know which one will take root. Listen to and trust in your intuition and your instincts. Embrace your masculine and your feminine energies. Have the courage to see the opportunities in front of you and to go after what it is that you want, because there's something that you truly do want in front of you. And it's either taking the action to connect or create it, or taking the action to plant some seeds and then allowing things to unfold naturally and letting go of the destination, letting go of where it's taking you and just allowing things to be as they are. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. And if curiosity killed the cat, then it killed me first because, I'm extremely curious. But at the same time, I'm still alive. So apparently curiosity isn't killing anybody anytime soon. Anyway, follow your curiosity. Allow it to lead you. Allow it to open your mind up. Allow it to cause you a feeling of fun and joy uncovering the mystery, and not a feeling of trepidation and fear at what could be behind the door, but a feeling of joy. Sometimes behind those doors, there are options that are no fun. There are snakes in the grass at times. King T, Snakes in the Grass. Good song. It's about damn time that grass was cut. I feel like the grass is being cut and things are being seen clearly, very clearly, that have been missed before. Things are being exposed. Things that people did not want to put out there in the open, that they did not want to cop to, that they didn't want to admit to, that they didn't want to be seen as a part of. All these illusions that people painted and all these masks that they wore are all cracking and crumbling and falling off at this time. Your mask is cracking and crumbling and falling off in favor of self-love. In favor of the only option that there is, love for you. And in that love for you, you will be able to see clearly the options for you going forward that are going to bring the most love and peace and joy and happiness for you. And it may not be the same for everyone. Just because you didn't find love, peace, joy, and happiness with this snake option over here doesn't mean that that snake option never sheds its skin and doesn't find peace, love, and happiness with somebody else. That does tend to happen too. Kind of like that message earlier where, if you're seeing the person as a liar in some way, have you been being a liar in some way? If you're seeing that person as not expressing their full truth or not being who they really are, were you? Or were you just giving way to make them happy? Or were they just giving way to make you happy? Or whatever the case may be. Because that happens a lot, and generally it happens on both sides. It takes two to tango. I don't know which one of my kids wrote this on here, but one of my kids wrote on here, "I love you, Mom," the other day. So now we have "I love you, Mom, love you too" on my board. In between messages, if you guys wanted to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. And you can just send payment this way and then post your question and I will get to it. Thank you, by the way, to anybody who does that or anybody who likes, shares, comments, subscribes, anything like that to this channel or my other channel. You guys are amazing. I don't regret my past because it makes my future. I came up with that when I was like 15. I don't regret my past. I don't regret any of it. I don't regret the abuse that I went through. I don't regret the pain I endured. I don't regret the people I trusted. I don't regret the lessons I've learned. Because without all of that, I wouldn't be who I am. Without all of that, I wouldn't have the knowledge I have. I wouldn't have the wisdom I have. Without all of that, I would not be me. Change any of that. Think about the butterfly effect for a second. You change any of that, and it could change everything so dramatically. I personally love myself and wouldn't want to change a thing. Love yourself to the point that you don't want to change a thing. That right now you are fucking amazing. That doesn't mean that there aren't things that you want to work on. Of course, there's always going to be things that we want to work on, or there's always going to be things that we're avoiding looking at so we don't have to work on them, or there's always going to be things that we can still learn, that we can still grow from, of course. But at the end of the day, where we are now is beautiful too. Who we are now is beautiful too. The life we have now is beautiful even in the darkest of times. I'm extremely happy that I have the heat that I do this year because 2 years ago I did not. And I had people on my comments that were like, "Can you do something about the camera shaking because it's making me sick?" And I was like, "I don't have a camera stand." And I'm holding it with my hand and I'm shivering because it's so cold. So no, there's nothing that I can do about the shaking camera. Either pay attention to the message and don't watch it, or find a different reader, because apparently I'm not the one for you if you can't disregard the issues that are going on and focus on the message, because the message is the most important part. Earlier this year, somebody hit my RV and made a bunch of promises to replace it. And they did replace it, but they did not fulfill the promises that they made in not contacting the insurance company, because he was the owner of the company and he had already had 3 accidents in the last year. So he didn't want the insurance company involved. So when his wife was like, I think we've already done more than enough for you because the insurance company would have only gave you $1,500. I was like, excuse me, but I'm not stupid. And I know that you guys would have spent a whole lot of extra money if we would have taken it to the insurance company too. So we didn't just do that for me, we did it for you guys too. So they left me with the trailer without propane again. The propane was broke on it, which is basically what I had when I first moved out here the first year. My trailer's propane was broke on it. So the first winter, there was a lot of burning random pieces of cardboard and sucking in black smoke. And my mom's like, oh my God, you can't be doing that, Danielle. And I was like, what else do you want me to do, Mom? I feel like I would be much happier dying of carbon monoxide inhalation than dying frozen. Sorry, this is what I'm doing because this is what I have the ability to do right now. Was it the healthiest thing? No, but I was doing what I had to do to survive. And this year, even though my propane is broken, I have a little propane heater that is running over here. And a can of propane to go with it. And I also found out that you can get propane vouchers as well, which is really nice. But basically, even in that situation, you want to know what I woke up and did every day? I woke up and said, thank you. Because that's how I fucking survived and stayed sane. Is I woke up and I said thank you for the little things, for whatever the fuck I had in front of me that I felt like I was grateful for. And I focused on those things, and I focused on those things, and I focused on those things. Because if I had focused on the blackness, misery, despair, and pain all around me every second of the day, I would have spiraled down into a pit of hell that I never would have climbed out of, or it would have taken me at least 10 years to climb out of. I've watched it happen to so many people, and that's not where I wanted to be going. I had meth around me all the time, had alcohol around me all the time, had all kinds of shit around me all the time, and I could have been sitting there using it to block out, numb, whatever else, but I didn't. I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for everything that I went through. I would not have made it through that if it was not for every bit of the abuse in my childhood, every bit of lack in my childhood, every bit of despair, because I already knew what that looked like when I stepped into it. So I was able to handle it. And you can handle whatever is in your life right now. You know how. Forgiveness and letting go are true blessings after holding on and drowning in that poison that it created for so long. You are on the right path. Keep going. No turning back now. You will be able to handle the triggers with grace and with dignity. You have learned so much, especially in self-love and self-esteem. Remember in these hard times to hold your faith close to you. Don't give in to fear and doubt. Know that you have been promised. What you have been promised is the truth. Release timing and how it's going to happen. Surrender with trust. It is time to go with the flow and to maintain peace at all costs. And that is so hard to do, especially when you're going through such a rough time period, to be able to let go of it all, to be able to forgive everything, forgive all the people that, like in my case, forgive all the people that turned their back on me and threw me out into the cold, threw me to the wolves and didn't give a flying fuck after all the support that I gave them for years, after all the love, after all the everything that I poured into everyone around me for years. Because I chose to do something for me, they all fucking disappeared and decided that I was the enemy. But to be able to forgive that, let that go, be able to surrender and be able to be at peace with the way things are, and to feel gratitude for the good things in your life is something that is going to carry you through until, as it always does, change comes in, because change is inevitable. And this is not something that is meant to be going on forever in your life. Time on your own and at peace with it is needed. You don't have to be lonely when you're alone, and sometimes you're lonely even when you're surrounded by people. Release the need to distract yourself and just be. Know that you are never truly alone, and reach out when you need to. You are strong enough to face this and overcome this. So whatever hardship you are dealing with in your life right now currently, whatever you feel like you are alone in, whatever you feel like whatever battle you feel like you're fighting and there's no one on your side and there's no one that you can lean on, there are. Sometimes it's just the stranger sitting across from you at the bus stop. Sometimes it's, the song, "What if God was one of us? Just a stranger on a bus, just trying to make his way home." Or the song, "I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from heaven up above." There are angels everywhere. We are all earth angels right here. We spend our time trying to do good for this world and for the people on it. But if we believe that we are doing that, then we also must believe that there are others out there doing that same thing. My brother was going through a lot a couple years ago, and at this point, we don't even talk because, he's decided he hates me because he's projecting his own self-hate onto me. And he didn't like some of the things I was talking about because he was taking offense to it because he's doing those same things in his life. And I was like, I wasn't even talking about you. I was talking about what's going on in my life and not what is going on in your life. Sorry if you took it that way. But about 3 years ago, he was pretty suicidal. And he's kind of like that too. He's one of those people that brings a lot of joy, a lot of laughter, a lot of happiness to others a lot of times at the expense of himself. Robin Williams is coming to mind right now. And he was extremely suicidal, and there's nothing really I can do from here, other than I talked to him on the phone, but I prayed. And I was like, I'm here for everybody else's brothers around here. Send somebody the same way to be there for mine. And I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to let you take care of it. And I'm going to let you send somebody to him while I'm busy taking care of the ones that I can here. It all comes back to you. Whatever you put out comes back to you in some way. I choose to release all the negative thoughts and limiting beliefs about myself and the world around me. I am the creator in my life, and I hold the power to create. I create amazing creations. I have the ability to have an amazing life. Blessings rain down on me each day. I choose to bless others in the same way. I am open to give and to receive freely. I am in a state of free-flowing energy. I am not blocked, and I do not block these energies. I am at peace, and I surrender. Everything is as it should be. Everything happens as it should. Everything that happens is for my highest good. I release all pain, hardship, and lack. I was just thinking about Margaret. She just popped into my head for some reason. I release all pain, hardship, and lack. I accept peace, abundance, and freedom. I am worthy. I matter. I belong. I am connected. I am at peace. I feel joy. I smile each day. I find gratitude and express it. I am truly blessed. I live my life. I love my life. I am not afraid of death. I am not afraid of failure. I am not afraid of success. I know that I am strong. I know that I am wise. I know that I can do this. I know that I am not alone. All my negative thoughts and all my negative beliefs have been released, and I am at peace. I am a master manifester. All I feel to be real becomes a reality. What do you feel to be real in your life right now? Is what you feel to be real in your life right now a negative cesspit of this world is hell and I'm stuck living in it? Or are you feeling like there is beauty all around me, and at any time that beauty can come into my life? And it does so very freely. Abundance and blessings rain down on me. Justice is swift and comes in to take care of any problems. Look a bit deeper into things. Look a bit deeper into how you affect this world around you as well. You bring a lot of life and light. Will you stop it, you little kitty? He has a severe problem with understanding the word no. No. I think he understands it. He just don't care. But anyway, you bring a lot of light, life, and beauty into this world. You bring so much amazing energy into this world. You are quite capable of regenerating at a very rapid rate. You're capable of turning things around in such a rapid fashion that it's completely shocking to yourself and others. I feel like there's going to be a lot of manifestations for you that are going to be piling in the near future, that are really going to just be blowing your mind at how quickly you can do that and how you have always had that capability to create that magic in your life. Mindset is a very important thing when it comes to that. I actually have this one listed in meditations on my playlists as well, because I do it in a meditation form with rain. So there could also be a very shocking reconciliation coming in for you as well, one that you definitely were not expecting to happen. Something's definitely going to be coming back to life for you, something that you thought was dead, gone, over with, something you felt like could never happen, like it was impossible. Your limited belief system may have been blocking something from being able to grow and regenerate in your life, but it's no longer going to be blocked from happening. Eight of Pentacles, your hard work is definitely something that's creating this peace, this harmony, this connection, this friendship. There has been a friendship that has been nurtured so much that it can never be destroyed. It doesn't matter what kind of natural disaster comes along, it's still going to be standing at the end of the day. It's like a cactus in the desert. This friendship's like a cactus in the desert, which, most people wouldn't think that sounds good. But think about cactuses for a minute, how fucking strong they are, how tough they are to be able to stand in the desert with no water, with no resources, and the defense mechanisms they have when it comes to predators attacking them in any way. They are definitely something that stands the test of time in a lot of ways. And there is something here, a connection here in your life that has stood the test of time and you don't even know it yet. It's something that is going to be healing, and there's going to be peace and harmony brought back in to a situation. Maybe even there might have even been desire lost, or respect lost, trust lost in a situation. There could have been sexual attraction lost in a situation as well for some of you, where this is a partnership, and it's because the respect and the trust was lost. If you don't have trust and respect, you cannot find a person attractive. And if somebody loses attraction for somebody, they really need to look in the mirror at what they may be doing to cause this, instead of blaming the people around them for not being attracted to them, or vice versa. But there's definitely a steady fear going on inside of you, a fear that this is not possible, or a fear that you don't want to start this again because of the way it ended in the past, or maybe even a fear of exposure, of things being known or seen in some sort of way that could be stopping this. There is definitely something that's going to come out, though, where peace and harmony is going to be achieved in your connections, your friendships, your relationships, the regeneration skills that you have, and the hard work, effort, time, and attention that you've put into creating peace and balance and harmony in the situations around you is just going to blow you away with how quickly it happens. There's a lot of fertility, a lot of growth, a lot of fast movement and fast pace in this. All the things that you have put out there in the past, all the goodness, all the beauty, all the support, care, appreciation, gratitude, all the love, light, and recognition, all the beauty that you've placed out there is going to be coming back to you, because people are going to be remembering that you were there in their darkest hour too. There's going to be people remembering all the things that you've done for them and wanting to give back for all the beautiful energy that you've put out there. So, in between messages, again, if you guys wanted to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wishlist, all in the description box below. Thank you guys again for that. And let's see what else our guides want to talk about today. Thank you for all your guys' support, no matter what it is. Thank you to my guides as well for being here to lead us in this reading, and your guides for helping you to put the pieces together on where it affects you. Flying high. I'm standing at the edge, looking out over the ledge, a place that used to hold so much dread, but now I find peace inside my head. Wow, it's amazing how this fits the lineup of cards that was just out here. Taking the leap, 1,000-foot drop, now I no longer want to stop. My wings unfurl and spread wide, overcome with pride I cried. I knew that I could do it all along, in my heart a steady song. I'm so glad that I no longer stand, stuck in place on that piece of land. Watched over, protected, and seen through, a journey made by far too few. Grab your faith and follow me to the promised sky where we are free. 121:22. Regardless of what had happened over the last couple years while I was on my own and all that kind of stuff, I was free. I was free. That was one of the things that I was able to be grateful for on most of those mornings waking up is at least I'm free. At least I do not have to deal with the abuse I was dealing with before. At least I don't have to deal with the bullshit, the drama, the chaos, the crap, and everything just piling up and stressful around me. Don't care about the money. Don't care about the support. Care about doing what you feel is right and doing what you feel is your purpose, and everything else will line up for you. It has taken a lot to stay on this path for myself too, to stay committed, dedicated, patient, persistent, driven, motivated, but consistent too. But here I am, day after day for 3 years now, with that consistency, that drive, that motivation, that passion, that persistence, that dedication, that commitment to what I feel my path is, regardless of whether or not I feel like things should be further along, or whether or not I feel like, I deserve a lot more for what I'm doing. I will get there. Right now, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'm meant to be. And everything that I was meant to go through the last couple of years, I was meant to go through. And the same for you. Everything that you've been going through, you've been meant to go through. A couple of years ago, I asked to be able to be a better healer. I asked to be able to know more psychologically. I asked to be able to be a better people reader. Even all kinds of stuff. I asked to be able to do this to a higher extent. What did they do? They threw many more lessons in front of me that I could go through that were really hard, that I could learn from. Learn knowledge that you can't learn from a book. Knowledge firsthand of. Wisdom is what that is called. Wisdom from the experiences you've had. You have so much wisdom inside of you from everything that you've gone through. And you continue to gain more wisdom with each new lesson you face and each new lesson you overcome. One of those biggest key things of wisdom is being able to take that leap of faith without fearing. Knowing that that plan and that purpose was put inside your mind for a reason. Jacob Lee Conscience is the song that's coming to mind right now. We have our dreams for a reason. They are put there for a reason. The way we think, the way we feel, what we want to do, it's all there for a reason. Are we going to choose to take that path, or are we going to choose to ignore the calling because we're too afraid to step out there and take that leap of faith? Which sometimes that calling could just be asking you to apologize to someone, like we were talking about earlier in this reading. Are you going to take that calling, or are you going to ignore it until the universe forces its hand? Because it always will. If they want you to do something, they're going to get you to do it in one way or another, and it's always harder when we avoid it. They a hoe. Stop trusting hoes to have your highest good in mind. Have your own highest good in mind. Abby Anderson, Make Him Wait, is coming to mind. Do what you feel and want, but also keep your heart in mind too. If you know that your emotions get connected easily, there is nothing wrong with that, but don't jump in too quickly either. Watch the actions and not just their words. Read the energy, body movements, and emotional responses for your information. Check in with your soul, your higher self, and your guides. Think before acting. So there is also a time for thinking before acting. There's a time of taking that leap of faith, and there's a time of thinking before acting. And with a nice balance of the two, things usually play out even better. There could definitely be somebody in your life that you know you shouldn't be trusting and that you've been ignoring this voice inside your head. And you might be being asked to take a leap of faith to move away from this situation as well. There was a bit of that in the reading earlier too. I want to say it was during ML's question. Someone may have tried to put their own blame on your doorstep. They couldn't face the mirror or the censure of others. The lies will be revealed and others will see the truth. This person has a lot of self-hate. It will increase before it gets better. So, someone may be a hoe and accusing you of being a hoe or whatever it is. Whoever this person is, they've been trying to accuse you of being that person, of being the problem, of being the one to blame. You could be being scapegoated in some sort of way by this person. And it's because they don't want to face the mirror. They don't want to face the censure of others or the judgmental eyes. But that's okay because the lies will be revealed. It's not yours to deal with. It's not yours to focus on. Let it go. And the universe is going to make sure that those lies are revealed and that others will see the truth. And a lot of that comes from you walking your walk. While they're busy talking their talk, you're over here walking your walk, and people are like, hey, she's not walking the walk you're saying she's walking, or he. They're walking a completely different walk. This person has a lot of self-hate, and that's the problem. It has nothing to do with you. It has all to do with them. And their self-hate is going to increase before it gets better because not only are they going to be dealing with the self-hate they already have, they're going to be dealing with the self-hate they have because everyone is seeing them in their true light now. They're going to be dealing with a lot of hate from others. Take the time to study and to learn about things that you enjoy. The more you dive in and explore, the more wisdom that you gain. Believe that you can achieve the things that you desire. Focus on yourself at this time and increasing your abilities. So, increasing your abilities. In order to be able to increase your spiritual gifts and abilities, you got to be able to put them to the test, and you got to be able to see if they're working, and you got to be able to build that discernment. And the way that you do that is by taking those leaps of faith, by getting out there, by putting yourself out there, by getting involved in situations, by getting closer to people, and by really sorting out the situation and seeing what's going on. It all plays in to you believing more in your gifts and increasing their ability. Also, being able to dive in and read about those things, learn about those things, explore those things. There's a lot of information out there this day and age that you can dive in and explore, and that's going to help you a lot as well. I spend a lot of time watching you work. I'm not sure what you are doing, but I try not to interrupt. I'm so happy when you take breaks and play with me. You give me the best toys and treats, and I feel so loved. If somebody has an animal, then they want to let you know that they feel so loved by you and they just wish they could spend all their time with you. They try to be patient, but sometimes they're an asshole because they want your love and attention. Like my little kitty. I love animals. Animals are amazing. Best friends you could ever have right there. 10 of Pentacles, the Devil, the Eight of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Trapped in an emotionally manipulative situation or an emotionally immature situation. Stuck in your thoughts, overthinking things, wearing your heart on your sleeve, staying really attached to things that are not good for you. There's something blocking you. And you know what? A lot of it could be worrying what everybody's going to think about what you're doing because it may be considered something evil or something taboo or something that people don't really do. Feeling like your dreams are impossible. Feeling like the ideas you have are impossible or you can't accomplish it. Feeling very stuck or trapped, but technically you're only trapped because you are allowing yourself to be trapped. Someone could actually even be dealing with an alcohol addiction as well for some of you. And they tell you there's nothing you can do about it. You will always be an alcoholic if you ever were. But no, that's not true. There's plenty you can do about it. And if you believe in yourself too much, then it takes their power away and gives it back to you. So take your power away from everybody and give it back to yourself, and know that whatever it is that you're dreaming about, you can accomplish. You can definitely create this legacy. You can definitely create stability, success, support, strong, stable connections, and all of that stuff. But it's going to require you to get out of your head more and to stop wearing your heart on your sleeve so fully, while still being the loving person that you are, which is sometimes really hard to do. Change is unavoidable. We've had that come out so many times in this reading today. The only variable is rate. It's inevitable. Order to profit. Metamorphosis. Know your power. Seek your answers within. So, know your power. Face your power. Face the limitations you have going on inside your mind. Face the questioning and the overthinking. Face the blindfold that you have been put on. Remove it and allow yourself to see. Allow yourself to see inside, both the good and the bad, and know the power that you have inside to be able to overcome whatever obstacles or challenges that you are facing, or that you are currently, the belief system that you currently have that may be stopping a lot of good things for you. Seek the answers you need from inside yourself and trust that those answers will come. Get into a calm, peaceful, relaxed, meditative state and just chill, get grounded, ask your questions, and then let them go. Ask a question, let it go. Don't hold on to it. Don't keep asking it. Just let it go. Find something else to do. Find somewhere else to be. And as you're doing whatever you're doing, that answer is going to come to you. One of those answers is going to be that change is unavoidable. Things are changing whether you like it or not, and you may want to stay with how things are now, but that's also what's causing this stuck energy inside of you. It's causing a lot of fear or a lot of doubt or a lot of anxiety, and it's causing you to feel like you can't move forward, like you're paralyzed in some sort of way, but you are not. You have the power inside of you to be able to take these steps forward. Okay. So we're going to get one last message for a closeout message. And then we are going to be done for today. So once again, if anybody wants to be able to donate, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, anything like that. All of it really helps me out. Truly appreciate you guys. Thank you for that. And let's see what our closeout message is today. New life. Another life, another face, searching for another place. In the past we might have known, from the coop we might have flown. Now it's new from the start, putting together is an art. Reaching back through time and space, patterns as intricate as the finest lace. Seeing truth in every look, confidence that was took. Lies before us now will flee, truth is something all will see. So there could actually be a situation in your life where lies have destroyed the connections around you. In some sort of way, there could have been somebody that turned you against people and turned those same people against you in some sort of way. Or there could have been just a lot of destruction going on around you where everything was being torn down. Things that you thought were never going to fall down could have all came crumbling down. But now it's going to be new. There's going to be a change going on. And this change is going to be a good thing. You may be very anxious about this change because it seems like everything changes and it's always bad, but it's not. There's a lot of good in this change. And there was a lot of good in those other changes too, if you look at the good. The good is that with everything crumbling away and falling apart as it did, you learned how to stand strong on your own 2 feet. You learned how to be okay with being alone. You learned how to be solid, stable, strong, regardless of what situations you may be facing at that time. And now you also learned a lot of tools, extra tools in the situations you're in. So putting things together is going to become an art. Instead of breakup being an art, putting things together is going to become an art. So for a time period, you might have actually been very focused on how to end things if you need to end things. And now you're going to be focused on how to build things when you need to build things. All the confidence that was taken away in the past is going to be being returned tenfold as well. There's definitely a lot to do with your dream world here, what you may be dreaming of, what you may be thinking of, maybe even daydreams as well. There's definitely a lot of changes going on, like night and day type of changes. Cootie, night and day, is coming to mind now too. So you could be thinking of somebody night and day, or they could be thinking of you in some sort of way. There's a lot that's getting ready to be exposed and seen for what it really is as well. And your intuition is getting ready to be proven right. Ease your mind. Don't allow yourself to fall down this rabbit hole. PTSD is hard to deal with, and too much internet scrolling may cause psychosis. You need to pull away from it all to heal more. It is okay to need this time. What you put out comes back, right? So if you're constantly afraid, upset, nervous, worried, scared, you might start to notice that, say you watch a lot of tarot readings on YouTube, and all of a sudden there's a dark, despairing theme going on where all the readings you find are about all the negativity, all the bullshit, all the drama, all the chaos. And you're not seeming to find any ones that are actually bringing you any kind of peace. It's time to step back. It's time to find your peace again. Because when you're in that peaceful state, that's when your intuition is its strongest. But when you're in that negative, lower vibrational energy and state of anxiety and fear and worry, then your intuition is at a very low level and you're just flying off the handle at every single thing that may not even be what you think it is. PTSD is definitely something extremely hard to deal with, and it can create a lot of psychosis, especially when you've got things like that running across your screen all the time. You've been so sad lately, and I'm not sure why, but I am here for you. You always make me feel better, but I am not sure if I do the same for you. Can you let me know if I do? I would cuddle you forever to see your smile again and dry your tears. You are my whole world. So there could even be a love situation as well that is forming in your life right now, and you may be having a lot of PTSD cropping up because of the past. Make sure that you are investigating the situations before you're just deciding this is the same as it was last time. But at the same time, if you are finding that it is too similar to the past, then you do need to cut those things off for your own health and for your own self-love. The melting of winter. Find the warmth glowing within. Having optimism is a win. It's growing more every day, melting all the ice away. Your solar plexus shines so bright it chases away winter's night. As the snow melts, your walls drop. Keep going now, you must not stop. This new ground can seem shaky, I know. Just think of the green grass below. Uncovering your heart is hard work, it's true. But you will be rewarded for all that you do. So, you've definitely been working on melting the layer of ice around your heart and really being able to be optimistic again, being able to love from a whole heart again. There's been a song that's been popping up a lot the last couple days that has to do with that as well. Basically, they say, I don't think I'll ever be able to love the way that I loved once again. You will. But sometimes it just takes time, and that's okay. Think of where you are now and where you were before and be proud of the progress you've made. And know that you will make even more progress on this journey. Reiki healing could be something that would be very effective for you as well, especially for the heart. And if you guys are looking for a reading that deals with that, I do actually have one. So you could type in my name and heart chakra healing, and it'll pop up that reading. You are so ready to step into the spotlight. Remember, a quick energy cleansing can do wonders for your anxiety. Ground yourself and move forward. Take that stage, but remain humble in your dealings. Extend the knowledge that you have in you with great care. With great power comes great responsibility. You're so ready to step out of the background, to step into the spotlight, to move away from any kind of invisible energy, to really take the show and to make things work in your life. Arm yourself with knowledge, learn everything that you can, and stand your ground effectively. Know your worth, know your power, know yourself. Stand up for what you believe in. Don't just follow the crowd. Make sure that you do your own research and make your own judgments. Don't let opposition scare you out of your ideas and your perceptions. So, if you're facing people that are like, oh no, you're wrong. Oh, I don't even want to hear what you have to say. I'm just going to shit all over it without even listening. Don't let those people turn you away from the ideas that you have or the thoughts that you have. Delve into them further. Research your position so that you feel confident in speaking about it, so that you don't have to feel like It's also so you don't jump into a defensive state when you're dealing with those people as well, because it can trigger you and cause you to jump into a defensive state where, you know, you just don't accomplish as much in that state. But researching can help you to feel more confident in what you have to offer to the table. You have dealt with many callous and careless people. Take your power back. They are a distraction from your path and your purpose. You feed them with your energy when your focus is on them, and your vibes are lowered because of them. I've definitely dealt with a lot of that over the last couple of years. It's amazing how much your vibes can be lowered. But as we talked about earlier as well, all vibes are contagious. Your high vibes are just as contagious as their low vibes. Continue to take care of yourself and your own vibes. Continue to cut things off that you need to cut off. Continue to focus on your goals, focus on your path, focus on those things that bring you healing and make you feel good. Take time out to dance or to just enjoy life, things like that. And it's really going to keep your energy up. And as your energy is being kept up, good things are going to be pouring into your life, and you're going to be manifesting much easier as well. Someone new is coming in for you. Enjoy life more, live a little, take some risks for once. No more hiding from the spotlight. You shine so bright. Never hide that energy. When you shine fully, you will attract someone who shines just as bright as you. But it requires you to take off every mask, even that last one that guards your vulnerable heart. So that mask that you wear to protect your heart, to keep your heart hidden away, to keep your love under wraps, to keep the beauty you have inside of you from being seen, needs to go. You may not be showing a lot of who you are to the world. You may not be putting yourself out there because you don't want people to see inside, because, you know, you don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to be seen as naive or stupid, or you don't want to be hurt, or you don't want to be abused, or whatever the case may be. You've worked extremely hard to make sure that you have boundaries enough that you're not going to be being abused anymore, that you're not going to be sticking around for that shit anymore. So you don't need to worry about that anymore. If somebody starts something up like that, you're gone. You don't have to be there to put up with it. But what you do have to be able to do is to forgive them and love them regardless, and forgive yourself and love yourself regardless, because that is where the poison is at. The poison is at the hate or the bitterness or the resentment or whatever it is, from the betrayal or from the abuse or from the whatever. That poisons you and causes your entire life to be a lot darker than it needs to be when you're holding on to it. When you're able to just let it go and be at peace with the way things happen and the way things are now, then your vibes are much higher and you're feeling much better and you're manifesting in a lot better situations to yourself. So that is what I have for this reading today. And I really hope that you guys did enjoy this reading. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys how you felt about it, things like that. And thank you guys for your comments, your subscribes, shares, likes, donations. All of that stuff is so appreciated. You guys really make a very big impact in my life. So thank you so much for that. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.